Good evening and welcome to Donington Park National for Next Gen Season 18. We are back for another season. Ultramatam getting back into the session. We'll have 14 drivers once Ultra is back in the lobby. But round one here at Donington Park National, open car choice. But let's have a look and see who we have racing tonight. We have GT5 Vass, NGR Tim 78. What car is Vass in? He is in the Mercedes. NGR Tim 78, he's back in his Skyline. Full fish in the Skyline. Les, Next Gen Les in the Sierra. See Jack and Les unable to use anything four-wheel drive. Cat123 Diz is in the Mercedes. Shadow Stalker is back in the Audi. Ultramatam, he's in the Audi. Shadow Stalker in the Audi. Bruce Lee Harding, not his debut in the series, but the first time he's going to do a full season for Season 18. He's in the Mercedes. D Whitehouse 7 in the Audi. Bob Mark 1 in the Audi. Traumatic Dave is back in the Sierra Cosworth. Wabies Johnny is in the Audi, going a little bit wild there on the back straight. Rally Matt has switched to the Skyline for this season, so it'll be interesting to see how he does in that car. And obviously Jack TM53 Synopsis in the Sierra Cosworth. Through, we've got about 7 minutes 23 left on the clock. As Les puts in a 111.7. Jack TM3 Synopsis goes across the line. Yeah, here we're going again. I didn't quite get the right lap that time around. DYS has gone wide at Redgate. Johnny going through the final chicane. The Fogarty S's. Across the line, he puts himself in 8th place. Trimbatam. In the Audi, so he's got a nice handling car. But Donington Park National Circuit, 1.957 miles long. This layout has been around since 2010. The circuit has been around since 1931, when it was 2.1 miles long. Jack now puts it 3rd quickest. There's Bruce into Redgate. Running Matt's on pole position there, 111.3. I'm going on board with him for a bit. And go on board with the Skyline as we just go through McLean's there. Down to the Fogarty S's. So across the line, we head up towards Redgate, late apex corner, hit the brakes again, Matt backing the car into neutral, not ideal, so that's going to ruin his lap. Jack's just gone to pole position with a 111.2, 0.023 quicker than Matt. So through Hollywood, flat right-hander into the Craner curves. Again, should all be a little lift there from Matt. Someone's off, that's Fourfish. Old Hairpin, down a third, get the thing tucked in. Don't go too wide, you'll get caught out for the track limits. Schwartz curve after Starkey's bridge, and then you hit the brakes into McLean's again at a fairly late apex because you kind of want to square the corner up to get the best exit. Coppes a blind right-hander over a crest. Hit the brakes just before that corner board. See Matt just drifting it through as we got good whoever that is in the Mercedes, I believe. Might maybe Bruce hit the brake, so about 100 meters away from the Fogarty S's. Again, you can't cut the corner too much, you'll get done for track limits, but you come out of that and across the line. This has not been a great lap from Matt after his first corner, but it's a good indication of the circuit. But he's looking rather quick in that Skyline, is Matt. He drifts it through. The old hairpin. Trying to work out who is it in that. Is it Vass? It was Vass who went off, so Vass having a bit of a difficult time right now. Ultra Matam at the back, 116.5 obviously. First time in quite a long time I've heard he's on the game, so just got to get used to it. He's not too far away from Tim and Johnny. Johnny is surprisingly not as fast as I thought he would be in his Audi there, although he is going quicker. He has gone half a second quicker, but it's not enough to move him up the field at all. Over the Hollywood crest he goes. UIL's doing nicely in 5th place. There's Jack in the background, the defending champion. UIL's going a bit slow now. Maybe just setting up for another attempt as Jack comes on to the straight and into the Fogarty S's. Should have another couple of attempts here, should he need them. Comes up to the line. Isn't really quicker as Jack, but he's comfortably, I say comfortably, he's in pole position by 23 thousandths of a second. Les has got a bit of work to do. Remember, Les was the one who took it all the way to the end last season, into the Alton Park Foster's loop. Les just coming into McLean's, all over the curb. Just about within the limits, I think. Jack has had his lap time invalidated. Now, where has he done that to? He's done it in the place where his next lap will be invalidated as well. So not ideal from Jack. He cannot improve. Matt and Les can, as Les comes through the Fogarty S's. He'll have one more attempt. Doesn't improve this time around. We're at one more lap for Les before the session is over. Bruce Lee Harding in his Mercedes there, currently in 8th place. He's doing well actually. See, the highest place Mercedes is Cam at the moment, and Bruce is only 0.3 off of it. So fantastic effort so far. . through the final Fogarty S's for his final lap. Can he improve? No, he cannot. Les is just coming round Coppice as DY House has decided to go into the pits. Les will be the next man to cross the line. Up to the line he comes, and he does not improve either. It's going to be Shadowstalker with Johnny just ahead of him. Shadowstalker puts it in 9th place. Traumatic Dave just behind. Can he go any quicker at the moment? He's got a 112.4. We'll find out very shortly. So Jack does take pole position, and crucially the first bonus point of the year. I say the year, the season. Rally Matt putting up a good fight though. 0.023 of a second behind to clean out the first row. Les and Fourfish line up on row 2. Row 3, DY House and Cam. Row 4, Traumatic Dave and Bruce. Row 5, Shadowstalker and Johnny. Row 6, Bottle Mark 1, GT5 Vass. Row 7, Tim and Ultra Matam. Lines up in 14th, but it's not too shabby. That's from Ultra. 0.8 off Tim. Looks like a lot, but in reality, once he gets to grips with that car and the way the physics work of these cars, I think he will start to improve. Interesting stats from the pit lane press. Rally Matt has never won a Group A1 race and has had 3 podiums. Fourfish hasn't had a win since season 16 in the Group A1s, and the word is Matt is potentially the one who's going to win this race. The Ford is apparently cooking its tyres after 5 laps, because he was disappearing pretty quick like Zolder was. So interesting to note that. As we go into the race then, we have the 3 red lights for the first time in season 18. We are green at Donington, and it's a great getaway from Jack in the Ford. Matt, surprisingly, hasn't managed to jump him at the start, but Les has gone backwards because Fourfish has gone past him. DY House down the inside looking for second place. That's a hell of a move from DY House into Redgate, and that is someone off. There goes Tim in the background as well. But DY House takes second place. Matt in 4th. He didn't really get the best getaway, did Matt. Bruce Lee Harding up into 5th with Shadowstalker behind. Looks like Cam got caught up in that initial incident with Fourfish and Traumatic Dave. There's NGR Tim, there's Ultra Matam. I think those two also got caught up in their own little incident. But DY House is in 2nd. Jack has got a 1.1 second lead. That Ford should blast past the Audi in a straight line, but here comes Matt down the inside of the exit of Coppice on Les. Bruce now has a penalty already. Matt looks down the inside of the Ford. Can he keep it there for the Fogarty S's? No, but Les is going to jump down the inside of DY House, and he hasn't managed to get it stopped in time. Just a little too late on the brakes from Les. He's now been passed by Bruce, and he's got a whole host. As there goes Shadowstalker. Here comes Bob Mark 1. Bob having a great race at the moment, up into 5th place, down the inside of Les, will take the place away. So Les has had a horrible first lap here, but he's got another 19 to try and catch those positions back up. Oh, very sideways. That's from Bob. Unfortunately, Les just getting collected in that. He's not had a massive incident, which is good to see, so he can carry on. But he's now got Johnny just behind him. But Jack now has a 2.4 second lead, but it is fluctuating a little bit now. There is Vass in the Mercedes, just behind Johnny, coming up towards Coppice. Four Fish just behind. Cam has made his way up into 10th place. Shadowstalker's had a moment somewhere. He's down in 11th. Traumatic Dave in 13th. Four Fish looks to the inside of Vass, thinks better of it as they go into the chicane. And DUI House now picks up a penalty. Randy Matt on his tail. Bruce in 4th at the moment. Looking to have to defend here from Bob. Oh, and a bit of a... Bob's been tapped there by Les on the entry to Redgate. Les hasn't taken any advantage. They go through Hollywood. Nothing Les can do there. You can see here 4th, pretty much down to 10th in one shot almost. Bob gets it a bit sideways once again through the Craners, but this time keeps it in check through the old hairpin. PMR side-by-side action for 2nd place. Matt to the inside of McLean's. Good move. The Nissan moves up into 2nd, and now he can start putting on a charge on the Ford. Bruce currently in 4th, but 5th place for Bob at the moment. Johnny has Four Fish on his tail, so Four Fish has got past Vass. Oh, hello. Bruce has been done by Bob. Yeah, Bob's just gone down the inside. Johnny's trying to go down the inside of Les, not quite working out. So come down towards Redgate. Bruce obviously retaking that place. Four Fish down the inside of Bob Mark 1, and Bob looks for a bit of a switchback, can't quite get it though. Cam now up into 9th place. Vass has gone backwards to 10th. Bruce is now under attack here from Les, down the Craners into the old hairpin. It's been hard but fair racing so far between these guys. Up to Coppice. Les down the inside of Bruce into the fog of the S's. I don't think there's much Bruce can do about that one. Oh, Bruce catches the curb on the inside. He's now lost a further place to Four Fish. He's going to lose another one to Bob. And here comes Johnny to the inside of Redgate now. I think Vass is going to try and pull on alongside now. No, he can't quite get that. Oh, yes, he can. Bruce is left in the room. Vass has gone down the inside. So Bruce down to 9th, and he could be down to 10th in a minute because Cam looking down the inside through Hollywood. Into the crane occurs, bit of contact. But everyone gets away with it. Cam trying to be very opportunistic down the inside of Hollywood. But the lead has shrunk because Mads is now just less than a second behind the Ford Sierra of Jack TM53 Synopsis. Four Fish has obviously taken 4th place from Les. There is Vass. Cam looking to the inside of Bruce. Bob's gone backwards to 10th now. So he's obviously made a small mistake. Cam using the pit lane on his entry to Redgate as he continues to try and put pressure here on Bruce. Johnny trying to fend off Vass and get to the back of Les. Remember, we heard this is when the Sierra's tyres start to go and the consistency goes, and that's Vass on the grass going through Starkey's Bridge and Swartz Curve. A minor bit of contact to send him wide. Cam down the inside of Bruce going into Coppice now. Looks like the move was set up through McLean's. And Cam moves up into 8th place, but Bruce is trying to come back through the exit of Coppice. Can't quite get alongside though. Down towards the Foggy S's, but we're going to go back to Rally Matt because he now is just... Well, the gap's increasing now because the Sierra's power down the straight, but you just feel it's only a matter of time before Matt cruises to the backside of that Sierra through this section here where you've got the Craner curves and the old hairpin with McLean's. Absolutely flat from the skyline. And that grip he's got coming out of the old hairpin, you just see him catching and catching. Into McLean's, he's later on the brakes, he's smoother into McLean's as well. See the back end of the Sierra all over the show. Good exit from Rally Matt. He knows he's not going to get jacked through here because the Sierra is just too quick in a straight line. Through the Fogarty S's again. He won't get him into Redgate, but he is getting very close. And the gap stabilising at 0.4 of a second. Matt's got a great chance this lap to really apply the pressure, and Jack's got wide into Redgate. He's tried to square the corner up and it's just not quite worked. The back end's just slid a little bit too much for Jack and has been able to lay the power down as he goes through the Craner curves. Jack now having to push that Sierra Cosworth to its limit. He's not quite got old hairpin right again. He's gone in wide. Matt's had to take slightly evasive action. Nothing wrong from either driver. It's favoured Jack though. That little mistake has favoured him in this instance. Four Fish out on his own. There is Les just not too far behind. Johnny, Bruce is in 7th, Cam in 8th, Vass is in 9th, Bob is in 10th. The field just getting a little bit spread now. Ultra Matam at the back of the pack at the moment. He's about 12 seconds off of Tim, but again, he is in that learning phase. You can see him just still trying to learn the car. There's Tim, there's Dramatic Dave. Back to the front though, because... And Ultra Matam gets out of the way. Good man. And here comes Rally Mats. Down the crane as he goes. One man wanting to get on the power, but there's a Sierra in the way. Through Starkey's Bridge, up towards Schwartz Curve. McLean's, you can see, Matt just taking a slightly different line, looking for a way past. Coppice now. Again, this is where Matt should apply the pressure onto the straight. He's looking to the inside. He's not going to get this move done because of the power of the Sierra, but it's going to put pressure on Jack coming into the Fogarty S's. Jack's got to nail the exit of this to make sure that Matt doesn't have a chance going into Redgate. And it looks like Jack's just done that. Into Redgate. Now Matt's surely going to brake slightly earlier into the old hairpin, make sure he's got the exit instead, because he can't really do anything mid-corner because of the Sierra being so slow through it. He's got the exit, but can he make good of it, because the Sierra now starts to pick up the pace into McLean's. And once again up to Coppice, and it's going to be yet another lap. That Matt's going to have to sit behind that Sierra Cosworth. He will not get past Jack down the straights. He's going to have to do in a corner. Through the Fogarty S's, down the main straight we go once again. Matt doing a good job keeping up with the Ford, just getting the traction down in out of the corners at the moment. Stay within 0.4 of a second, that's all it is. They're coming up to lap, that's Traumatic Dave, who's had a bit of a scary moment somewhere, I'd have thought. Bruce has been overtaken by Cam, that's going out down the main straight into Redgate. Bruce is thinking, trying to use Cam to draft up to the back of Johnny. Meanwhile, back at the front, through McLean's once again. At this stage, you'd have to think Matt's going to stay behind that Sierra. Again, he's right on the tail, side by side. But once again, the Sierra pulls away. That's about the only thing keeping Jack in the lead right now is the straight line speed of that Ford Sierra Cosworth. If he didn't have that, Matt would be long gone by now in the number one Calsonic Nissan GTR. So he's 0.6 of a second going into Redgate. It's just enough to mitigate the advantage that Matt has through the middle part of the lap. Meanwhile, Leslie's catching up to Fullfish for 4th place. It's going to get a little bit tasty soon. Vass down in 10th. Has Shadowstalker behind him. And what has happened to Traumatic Dave? Dave has gone is now behind Ultramatam, so we might actually have a battle for the wooden spoon to come. Meanwhile, back at the front once again, Matt through Coppice. Gets a good exit, can't utilise it down that straight. See, Matt's just braking slightly early, just making sure he gets this run. Well, he's running a little bit too wide, back end's kicked a little bit. Matt's kept it in check, but he's going to lose a bit of time because of it. He's trying a lot of different things. We head on to lap number 13. He's trying a lot of things as Matt just gets some sort of extra advantage. More opposite action for 9th place. Bob's falling behind. That was a bit weird, that from Shadowstalker. That's Ultramatam getting out of the way. I'm not certain whether Shadow had to wait because Ultramatam had a bit of a moment through the chicane, but he now puts him about half a second behind Vass. Meanwhile, back with the leading duo once again through Coppice Corner. Matt pulls up to the back of the Sierra, and the Sierra starts to pull away down to the Fogarty S's. Ahead of them is Tim. That's Jack. Jack's gone round. Jack's lost it into the chicane. D. Whitehouse is now through. Jack has spun out of the lead of this race, and he is now spun out of the win. You'd have to think that 3.4 seconds, Matt surely isn't going to give that one up too easy. Jack is going to be absolutely kicking himself now. A simple spin at the Fogarty S's has ruined that race really for Jack. He's still in the top 3. He wasn't expecting to win, but he had a good chance the way he was managing to fend off the straight. You'd have to say that a pretty good chance that he had. Johnny taken by Cam for 6th place. Traumatic Dave in the Battle of the Wooden Spoon has re-overtaken Ultramatam. Johnny now receives a penalty, and Rob also has got one. He heads up into Coppice Corner. But here is your leader. He has elapsed Tim, but Rally Matt now has 4.2 seconds to the good. And Jack has fallen back to 5th, so another mistake by the looks of it for Jack. The defending champion, not how he was wanting to get his defence off to a start. He was looking good for at least the top 3. Now he's just fighting to get back up to that top 3. Luckily, Cam is a fair while behind these guys at the moment, the top 5. You see Les is also struggling with the Sierra at this stage of the race. Those rear tyres, not what they used to be. Now means the top 3, all 4-wheel drive cars. Les drifting it through McLean's. Jack to the outside, down to the Fogarty S's, this for 4th place. Jack's on the grass, and Jack's almost went round. There's good car control to keep it there, but rookie error from the champion. On the grass, on a corner entry, not what you're looking for. Meanwhile, Bob has managed to catch up to Fast. He's not too far behind, but he's also got Shadowstalker just behind him. I think Dave currently about 20 seconds ahead of Ultra. Again, that could all change very, very quickly. Les and Jack still close together. You see Les drifting it through McLean's, not really getting the power down at all. But Jack not really catching him, because I think Jack is now starting to lose a bit of confidence in the Ford, because it's just becoming a little bit unpredictable. This time he's got a good run though. Les, as we go past Tim, to put a lap on him. Jack now just looking for a way to sneak past, get into the top 4 and resurrect something of this race. From the leader to being only in the top 5. It's a lot of points Jack has lost. He's just catching up. Matt is extending his lead at the moment. He's now up to 6.9. He's putting in some great lap times right now. And it is a Turbo Monday. Now, if people don't know what Turbo Mondays are, it's the day when all 3 Monday night tour leagues for Project Cars 2 on PS4 are at the same venue. So all 3 of the races tonight at Donington Park. Into the Fogarty S's. Jack once again still can't do anything about the Les. I should say next gen Les. A bit further down, Tim has lost a fair chunk of time. Tim's in the barriers, that's why. That is, oh, that's a big accident he's actually at the... He's hit the... No, that's not the pit entry wall, but he has gone in very hard at the Fogarty S's, has Tim. I don't know what's occurred there, but that's a serious accident he's just had. But it's now going to put him in the clutches of Traumatic Dave. It's Cam, the highest placed Mercedes right now, in 6th place. Doing well as Ultra now gets a time penalty. Meanwhile, Fourfish, Les and Jack are all gradually coming together here as we go on to the penultimate lap. Two Fords versus a Skyline. This, if someone beats Fourfish, will mean three manufacturers on the podium. Jack's got a good run out of the old hairpin, can't use it though. Positioning from Les perfect through Starkey's Bridge and Schwartz Curve. He's a little bit sideways through McLean's, but not half as much as he has done before. Through Coppice, up towards the Fogarty S's for the penultimate time. Matt is just about to start the final lap of the race. And Jack sends it down the inside of Les. Great move into the Fogarty S's. Late on the brakes. But it was a move that had to be done. But it does now pretty much mitigate any chances. Let's dive straight back down the inside at Redgate, but the switch back from Jack. A bit of contact mid-corner. Les goes back through. Bit of an awkward one, that. But Les went in slightly deep. Jack's done the switch back. And there was just a bit of contact mid-corner, which meant Jack went off the circuit. And Les has managed to keep fourth place. Well, Bruce is not too far away from Johnny. This could be an interesting final battle, but he's going to get it this time around. Rally Matt wins here at Donington. His first Group A1 win. Fantastic drive, fantastic result. Not put a foot wrong. It's going to be D. Whitehouse 7 who takes second place, pendant on what his penalties are. Fourfish will come home in third. Les will be in fourth, Jack in fifth, Johnny and Bruce. I think Johnny's just about going to get Bruce here for sixth place, a little bit wide from Johnny. Could mean Bruce gets alongside. No, it doesn't. It's going to be Johnny in sixth, Bruce in seventh, Cam up to sixth because of penalties. So Johnny seventh, Bruce eighth. GT5 Vass will come home in ninth place. There's Tim and Traumatic Dave just behind. Shadowstalker, a great 10th place for him. Good result for the Audi man. It's going to be Bob who's going to be the last man across the line, because Tim, Traumatic Dave and Ultra Matam have all finished the race already. So 11th for Bob. He's starting off promising for him, but it's just not quite gone his way. But the provisional results for round one of the Paramaxed Group A1 Tourers from Donington Park. Rally Matt takes the win from D. Whitehouse 7. Fourfish is in third with Les in fourth. Jack 5th, Cam 6th, Johnny 7th, Bruce in 8th, Vass in 9th, Shadowstalker 10th, Bob is in 11th, Tim 12th, Traumatic Dave in 13th, Ultra Matam rounds us out in 14th and last. Not the worst not the worst race from Ultra Matam. It's obviously fresh thing to learn for him. So it's going to be it could be a slightly long season, but it's going to be quite rewarding for when he does get those results in the bag. So the question is now, what is next up for Group A1s? Well, next up for the Group A1s, round number 2 next week will be Silverstone GP, and it's going to be in the BMW M1 Pro Car, fantastic car to have, and it will be a Turbo Monday once again. But next week, Silverstone GP in a BMW M1 Pro Car should be an absolute thriller to watch, so do join us next week for that one. Next up tonight, I'm going to close this stream, and we're going to have another one. It's going to be the newly named TC V8 League with the modern touring cars. So stay tuned for that one. That's from Donington Park GP, coming up very shortly, so stay tuned for that one. But from myself and the Group A1s, thank you guys for watching tonight. Thank you to Powermax for sponsoring this event. Do join us next week. But for now, good night.